Hey everybody, welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Ooh, it's spooky. If you hear anything outside, it's thunder.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. What'd you guys think of Dark Days: The Forge #1? It kickstarts an event, so it's not just like what is happening. You're supposed to be kind of like in the middle of it.
Oh, good, because I was definitely, what is happening?
Yes, but yeah. So what is happening?
It was interesting.
Right.
I am really confused, and I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I'm like,
That's like
I'm like
every day, though.
Yeah.
I'm like a grandparent inside of an electronics store.
Ah, yeah.
They're like, we're doing a thing, and I just kind of need you to go on for the ride with me. I need
Right.
to trust. I need to know you have a little faith in me.
Yeah.
Hey, shut up and just listen.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Trust me.
Hang on. Which was kind of neat, because at first I was like, oh, what? And then I was like, oh,
Oh, okay.
all right. John Romita,
Junior.
I think...
His is the weakest point, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll get into that, but and also clearly Scott Snyder still had another book to tell.
Yes. He had a whole other chapter.
But like he left on his own, right? Like
yeah, it's not like they made him leave or told him he had to do something else. He could do whatever he wanted.
It's like he realized he had one more story to...
One last ride.
One last yarn to spin.
I gotta tell you, this is the culmination point of Scott Snyder's Bat run.
Yeah, the Snyderverse.
Wait, so this is the culmination, and he's not in it?
No, Scott Snyder. He's writing it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
one more story to... Okay, sorry. I got confused. I'm confused.
That's what this book does to people, apparently.
That's just me.
If you've been reading Scott Snyder's run since the beginning of Court of Owls all the way through Endgame and Mr. Bloom and all that, you will be rewarded by this epic, huge tale that Snyder's kind of pulling.
Yep.
And that's really awesome, and I'm excited about it, because while I wasn't a huge fan of every point of the story, I read it all, and it's nice to be rewarded for it with an even more epic tale.
Right.
Also, in interviews, Snyder talked about how like this is kind of like his crisis.
He's having his own crisis.
Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting because they say crisis in the book.
They do, but apparently because they're not changing continuity, they didn't want to call it a crisis. But it would have been a crisis.
Right. So instead of getting like the expensive car
Yeah.
and like changing his hair.
Right. He just tells one more Batman story.
Cool.
And they're canceling All-Star Batman, the book that he started.
They're canceling it?
Yep, it's over.
Wait, is he finishing it?
When he's done, that's over.
Okay,
Wow.
that's fine.
Duke and Hal in this book were my favorite part.
Nice. All right. I'm glad that you feel that way, because
You're like, I'm glad somebody felt
I'm
that
glad
way.
someone liked Duke for once. No, Duke's cool, and that was a fun little scene.
Duke has like all the right reactions like of a soldier in the Bat family.
Yes.
Like it's what I like about that like defines his personality, because like Dick might have started to question things, you know what I mean? Like Damian 100% would, or he'd act like he knew everything anyway.
Yeah.
But like for Duke, he's just like, no, if he's doing this, he's got a reason.
Right.
And I was like, that's kind of neat. And I don't know enough about Jason or Tim to really like guess if they would be like that as well. But like from my experience, I just thought that was kind of nice to give him some personality.
Yeah.
Or like it's something defining.
And he kept up the idea of like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Why are we in this room? No, we should turn him and go back. This is not right.
Yeah.
Well, no, and he started that, but then as soon as it got scary, Hal was like, we should go.
Yeah, and he's like, no.
Like maybe that was an indicator that Hal knew what they were going to find, but I don't necessarily think so. I think Duke had more of an idea.
Yeah.
But like, it's just like, I'm like, Hal, you travel through the darkest reaches of space.
Yeah.
And you're scared of a hallway.
Right.
Yeah, because of what's at the end of it.
Yeah, because Joker's at the end of the hallway.
This is why I wanted reinforcements.
I thought I was gonna know. I don't know if Hal knew. Duke clearly knew. I was gonna say he's just like, well, it's a hallway in a Batcave within a Batcave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
I'm assuming, by the way, so, alright, at the end of the book, Joker shows up.
Spoilers!
It has nothing to do with the Three Joker theory. According to sources, there's no Three Joker theory in this book. So if you're reading Dark Days, The Forge, or you're reading Metal later down the road, to find out, like, the mysteries of the Joker, you will be disappointed, because they are not revealing those. This is Scott Snyder's Joker from, like, all the way to the beginning, all the way to the end. This is the Joker that was benched after Endgame.
Yep.
Okay.
Where he, like, wasn't Joker anymore, and he was just sitting there waiting. He has been transformed since then. We haven't seen why or how, but I'm sure we'll get the answer to that. I assume that it's so that Batman can unlock the mysteries of the Joker toxin that ruined Duke's parents. But that's just a theory for me.
Well, because they absolutely bring up.
Yeah.
Like, what is it, Immortal Man and whoever the hell else that was? They're talking about Elena Thomas?
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like a really quick reference, and we don't see those characters again in the rest of this book. Well, this issue.
So, what do you guys think of the art for this story?
Some of it was really good.
Exactly.
And then part of it was really not. Like when Superman shows up, and I'm like,
what is that? Yeah, that was weak.
Now, look, Romita has such an incredible, like, style. Like, that's his style, and, like, it's unmistakably him.
Yep.
And I know a lot of times, like, people like it, they don't like it. Like, you're pretty much one
it's
way or the
polarizing.
other. Yeah, when it comes to Romita Jr. But I also know that an inker, like, the inker has to know what they're doing with his lines. They had many inkers working on this book. I don't know if that's a part of it, or if he's just at that part of his life where it's not as strong as it used to be. It just... But to put it between, I think it's Kubert and Lee,
yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's funny because it's like, I'm glad they didn't end the book with it.
Right. That would have been...
But if they started the book with it, I think that's worse because people would be like, I'm not going to read this.
No, they just had to get through that moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's too bad.
It really is.
Because I love some of what Romita Jr. does. I think he's better suited for the Marvel Universe. I think he's more comfortable there.
I think you're right. I mean, like, I always think of his Thor.
Yeah.
Which is like...
Which is still not great.
No, but like... It's better than that Superman.
Yeah. He drew Superman during the New 52 for a spell.
Flabbergasted.
It was jarring, to be sure.
Yes.
But everything else in that book looked fantastic.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And just some great moments. Clearly Snyder likes to do that. He likes to write for like big moments.
Yeah.
Or moments that you never thought you'd ever see. You know, he's like, oh, look at Batman and Aquaman doing their thing. Oh, look at Superman and Mr. Terrific. Yeah, he likes to do that.
Yeah.
Like, let me show you something.
Yeah,
cool.
and by the way, like, I'm not gonna pretend, like, because technically, in my opinion, there are two big surprises at the end of this, and like, I feel like they're both art driven because they're both huge splash pages.
Yes.
So that's why I'm bringing it up now. One of them, I didn't know what it was. I did have to ask you.
The Anti-Monitor's Machine!
Yeah.
From Christ Animated
I
Universe.
was like, I have to ask because...
Yeah, not a clue.
Well, it was cool!
But here's the thing. Well, what I'm saying
is
is that, like, the art does such a good job of it, like, implying to you, like, you need to know what this is. That, like, you just go and find out. And, like, it's very well rendered. And, like, it's my understanding that it is better rendered than it ever has been. Just because, like...
Oh, yeah.
Well, because... slightly redesigned.
Well, and you never get, like, a full image of what the machine looks like. You're only getting, like, close-ups and images.
Yeah.
You know, and actually, in Crisis on Infinite Earths, you know, you see the Anti-Monitor first use it, and then I think we see, like, elements of it used in Infinite Crisis.
Right.
So, like, when it gets to Infinite Crisis, it doesn't even look like that anymore. And it also uses elements of the Anti-Monitor's armor in there. In this one, it's just the pure machine again.
Right, and, like, that's cool, but, again, like, this page just did a really good job of, like, emphasizing importance of it. Same with the Joker reveal. Like, it's kind of like you know it's him anyway, like, at least...
With the dialogue,
I'll be honest, with the dialogue, the word bubbles that they chose, the mention of Dionysium, and the fact that Snyder was writing it, like,
oh,
I immediately was like, oh, it's Joker, but even still, the reveal was well done. It was handled well.
Yeah.
Jim Lee does a really great job.
Yeah.
Like, with that reveal, because it's, like, it's not a full body, like, ta-da!
No.
It's just kind of creepy.
It's pretty big.
You mean he's not doing, like, a full frontal at you?
Yeah. What?
I'm not a huge fan of Jim Lee's Joker.
Okay.
But this version of the Joker was the best I've seen so far.
I liked it. I thought it worked. I felt like it kind of... Not that Lee and Capullo are, like, the same, but, like, for some reason, that level with Lee there, like, brought me back to the Capullo days.
Yeah. And Capullo's doing the whole, like, main story.
That's cool. That's really...
So we'll get that.
That's very cool.
I'm excited. I let me tell you, like, overall, I am excited about what this holds. Yeah. I'm not thrilled about everything around it. Okay. Because, like, Snyder and Capullo are really like, it's metal, baby, yeah! Like, so much so that, like, the next cover is of the superheroes placed in a shape like the horns. And I'm like, alright, you know what's not metal? That.
Well...
Like, you know it's not hardcore and cool? Continuously referencing being metal.
But and then they're all going to dress like Kiss members.
Right, like, that's, first of all, no.
That's not metal.
Like, exactly. No, but I think it is.
Another thing that was metal, without being metal, was that vision of a weird dreamlike future or nightmarish future.
Oh, where Batman takes over everything?
Where Batman, the huge Batman statue, and there are human beings, like, lashed to his legs.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, that's
metal.
That's pretty metal.
Maybe they're the Sons of the Bat.
Oh. Maybe.
And, like, when they die, They become part of the statue.
I don't think that's it. I think Batman is a horrible dictator and he's taken over everything. Because you see all these signals that are actually like spotlights and stuff. It's actually, for me, it's evocative of Kingdom Come when Batman takes over Gotham. You remember that image of like all the Batbots?
Yeah.
They take over people.
Maybe it'll turn out that it's someone else taking up like,
the Batmantle?
Yeah.
It's probably Damien.
I will succeed where my father failed.
Yeah. We've seen Damien become Batman in the future, and it's not like this, but who knows? And we're talking about a dark multiverse, so we're going to see dark versions of everybody. Also, there's like a mystery about the metal and how like...
Well, that's the only thing I don't like about this book, is that it's saying like all the amazing weapons and things are somehow connected.
Yeah.
Like, no, they shouldn't be. They all have different backgrounds.
No, Aquaman's trident, Wonder Woman's gauntlets, even the rings of the Green Lantern Corps, they're all using nth metal from the Thanagarians somehow.
I'm okay with that because I like the Thanagarians. Also, okay, how about this? Think about it like this. It could have been something that was traded throughout the world.
Yeah, I'm okay with nth metal being an element throughout all of it that connects them. I don't like the idea that, like, they are all mystically connected in some way.
Like they all came from one source.
Yeah, I prefer
from
it be...
a forge.
Right, okay. Yeah, that some cosmic thing built these weapons and then gave them, you know, like the freaking 9 rings of power.
Right, but like simultaneously, that it does a nice job of like explaining why they can stand against one another.
That's what it is, isn't it?
What? Is it the 9 rings?
That Sauron in space made all these damn artifacts, and that he's going to be able to control people through them.
You looked at me like that, like
you did it.
You know what I'm talking about. Well, because you're
connected to the Dark Lord.
You usually jump to that. You usually see into the future of what the story's going to do.
I don't.
Well, all right. Anyway,
I don't.
Theory time. It's Lord of the Rings. Anyway, yeah. So at the end of the day, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say like one more thing for art and like not like being like, look, this is kind of a book for people who know what's going on. Which is funny because then it's not really for me, but I still enjoyed it. But like, that's
the strength of this book.
There's like the egg.
Yeah.
They don't explain it. They're like, there's an egg.
But if you know that logo, it's freaking Plastic Man.
I thought so! Okay!
Well, not only that, the worst thing about it is, okay, so Plastic Man has been, they created him a little bit, like, in an earlier event, and then left him alone, didn't do anything with him. And then we established that Batman's keeping him there. Mm-hmm. It's literally the same image from Dark Knight Strikes Again. From Dark Knight Returns 2. Why?
But you got that story going on with the nth metal. Then you do have the mystery of the Dionysium. You do have the
Joker.
Artifacts. You got the Joker. You got the Crisis Machine.
You got the evil Batman future.
Yeah.
Or present.
Right? And, like, I'm interested to, like, I kind of liked this. Like, Snyder did something that some writers do, but you don't see it very often, where they're like, these are most of the pieces we're going to be playing with.
Yeah, and I'm going to show them to you right now.
And now I'm going to show you how they all go together.
I'm happy with that, as long as they fit together and you stick the landing, because that doesn't happen a lot in these Bat books over the last, like, 5 years. Yeah. They have not been able to stick the landing on most of them, and this has too much promise and is too interesting and cool for it to then be a dud. And if it is, it's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Well, at least we'll have DC Rebirth and, like, all the craziness happening with Doomsday Clock and whatnot, but this could be really cool. This could be Scott Snyder's magnum opus.
Well, here's what's funny. There was some stuff that Batman was saying that I was like, this could work flawlessly into what's going on in Rebirth.
Yes!
But it's not, apparently?
It's just a separate thing. But
yeah.
It could, I mean, like, here's the thing. It could actually just be, like, a chapter, like, or a sub-chapter within the whole Rebirth expanse.
Yeah.
It's a tie-in.
Yeah. If it is, it's a hell of a tie-in.
Right?
I'm down.
I mean, before we head off here, I gotta say, I love when Batman goes to the Fortress of Solitude, regardless of the art, and, like, he's just like, you know that room I wanted?
Yeah.
Below the fortress? And I told you never to go in there? I didn't.
Yeah, and I didn't, though.
I'm like...
It's just him being...
I know, it's just so funny. It's like, Superman, I don't think you understand. You never jumped till I didn't. That means you did.
Yeah, plus Batman knows if you did.
But I know you didn't.
Right.
I know you didn't, but at the same time, he almost said it like he was afraid, like, no, I didn't.
No, it's cool.
Keep the ring in your belt, don't get me.
Don't get me.
But yeah, no, I liked. There's a lot of interplay in there that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what? Duke wasn't even that annoying.
No, but he's gonna get his name supposedly.
Yes.
Potentially.
Yeah,
by the end of this.
I think by the end of this
he'll get his nickname.
Yes. hopefully, by the time our I Am Gotham episode comes out on back issues, because we make a lot of jokes about the fact that Duke doesn't have an official nickname yet. So hopefully it'll come out before all the naysayers jump.
And then all the
actually his name is actually this. It's like, yeah, well, for a couple of years it wasn't anything. So whatever. Anyway, off the rack. That was Dark Days, The Forge, #1. I'm not wild about this title, but I love the book.
Yeah.
Just call it The Forge. And just end it there. Don't call it Dark Days, subheading, blah, blah, blah. Part
no,
of the
but
metal.
it has to be Dark Knight, so Dark
Day,
something.
Yeah.
DDTF.
So let's get into recommendations.
That's like DTF, but with an
Yeah.
extra D.
Yeah.
Double down.
Yeah.
To Forge. Let's get into recommendations for books that are coming out this week on Wednesday that you can pick up.
My recommendation for this week is going to be Aquaman 25, written by Dan Abnett, with art by Stjepan Sajic. I had to look up how to pronounce that, and I really hope that's right. Otherwise, it just sounds like I'm having a stroke. So, this issue of Aquaman is going to have Aquaman underwater, because, you know, that's not what happens all the freaking time. But he is going to be alone, and Atlantis is going to be, like, under siege. There are crime lords, and there's King Wrath, who I have no idea who that is, because I haven't really been following attention, like, paying that much attention to it. But it sounds like it's really epic. It's going to be an anniversary, so it's going to be a little extra long. Still for the same price, though. Plus, I'm a big fan of Stjepan Sajic's artwork. So, yeah, go get it. Keep all of that in.
This week, I am recommending Spectacular Spider-Man #1, written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Adam Kubert. Yes! I think everyone who likes Spider-Man, who has been reading him for the last 10 years... can't wait to pick this up, or at least that's my hope anyway.
Alright, well, I cannot follow the mystical happenings of Doctor Strange any longer, simply because books are coming out, like, back-to-back, they don't come out for months, I don't even know. But Doctor Strange #22 is coming out, and this is now... Botchell's gone, finally. Not finally, but, like, we had the whole thing where they switched the issues where 21 came out and then 20 came out. But now issue 22 is coming out, and I think we're back on track for numbering, written by Dennis Hopeless with art by Nico Henrican. Or Henricon, or whatever you want to say. All I know is I don't think it's fair that Dennis Hopeless had to debut his Doctor Strange in tie-ins for Secret Empire. But here we are, and I wasn't a huge fan of the first tie-in for this, but I'm definitely going to stick around to see Hopeless's Doctor Strange outside of a tie-in. Of course, that won't be happening this week, because this is still a tie-in. Doctor Strange is still stuck in the dark bubble thing, and he's with Spider-Woman, and Ben Urich, and Kingpin, and now he owes Kingpin a favor, and I don't know, but we'll see where this goes. I just kind of can't wait for the tie-ins to be over, and us to get back to Doctor Strange, and just see what Hopeless is all about. Also over in Image, God Country #6 is coming out. This is wrapping up this incredible mini-series. I have loved this issue, or this book, from issue 1, and I am sad to see it be over at this point. Valifax will be meeting its maker, and along with it, Emmett Quinlan will go along for the ride. I can't wait to see how they wrap this up, and like I said, I am a little sad that it's going to be over, but I can't wait to pick it up and trade anyway, even though I read it all. And just before I go, I just want you to know that this book exists. Also from Image, also a mini-series. The Shirtless Bear Fighter, #1, will be coming out. It's about a gentleman named Shirtless who was betrayed by the bears that raised him, and so he now wanders the forest, fist fighting and eating flapjacks and defending it and punching bears in faces, and then like the city becomes under siege by a bear, and so he has to save it.
Hey.
Nope, you're not on camera.
Damn it!
And there you have it, everybody. Those are all the books that are fit to print as far as we were concerned. We'll see you guys next week with another episode Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
I'm Tiffany.
Thanks a lot for watching, everybody.